Oh, bienvenidos, spicy Doritos. It's Shilova-kun. And we're finally gonna start the third fucking Phoenix Wright game. Hooray! And the crowd got hype. Boy, it's been a long time. I had not been able to stream as much as I wanted to. This week has been particularly hectic. Life said no this past couple weeks, so I know my streaming's been very off, but trying to get back more on a regular streaming schedule for all you dudes. Piranha Planet, hooray, you made it! Don't know what is you say, come speak that language. That is okay. When I say bienvenidos amigos at the beginning of my videos, it means welcome my friends. Just in Spanish. And then I just add ridiculous things on top of it, like spicy Doritos. Okay, I am almost ready. So we can start the new game. How do I have to do this from it? Not from the ad to go to the new game, huh? Now we're doing Trials and Tribulations! Hooray! So much hype. So much hype. This game is my favorite game in the series. It's so good! It's gonna be so good! Raccoon! Welcome, my friend. Glad to see my boys. My boys coming up. But yeah, funny enough, yesterday, Raccoon knows, but yesterday, right after, I was like, yeah, I'm gonna start getting back into streaming regularly, and everything like that. More shit hit the fan in my life, and I'm like, god damn it, leave me alone. 2020, you are a dick. But I didn't want what happened yesterday to put me off my streaming again, so I'm gonna just keep on keeping on. This one's awesome too, because this one, this game I think has 5 cases again. In this game, it's so good. We're gonna see a lot of familiar faces, go back to a lot of familiar places. I was trying to come up with a witty rhyme to go with that, but I can't, so let's start with episode 1. Turn about the memories. And we get to see first time Mia in her first case. So we get to see young Mia acting just like Phoenix back in the day. It's gonna be so good. We get backstory for everybody. And we get to meet a new prosecutor. That's right, a new lovable asshole for us to hate and love. So, yeah, let's go. How did I get into this mess? Why? Why did I do that? That girl, you shouldn't see her anymore. Hey, it's none of your business. I'm telling you for your sake. If you continue to see her, it's gonna be bad news. You're lying! Just listen to me. There's something you need to know about that girl. Stop it! Don't talk about her like that! Oh, Phoenix in trouble again. God damn it, Phoenix. It wasn't me. I didn't do it. It's young college Phoenix. Hooray. Yeah, Edgeworth, we might get to see him in this game still, though. 5 years earlier, Mia Fey, second trial. Yeah, this is Mia's second trial, and I think later on in the game we get to see Mia's first trial, because the Fey family is going to be heavily involved in this game, which is also why it makes it super good. April 11th, 9:40 a.m., District Court, Defendant Lobby number 3. Phew, it's finally time. I'm kind of nervous. Oh, Mr. Grossberg, good morning.
Oh, Mia, please calm yourself down. You're going to get yourself arrested for suspicious behavior, you know.
What are you talking about? I am relaxed, Mr. Grossberg. Look at me. I'm relaxed.
Let go of my lapels. You obviously haven't got the temperament to be a lawyer. Yes, what?
I'm so sorry. It's just that I'm so nervous today.
Oh, that's right. This is your first time in the big leagues, isn't it? Well, never you fear, my dear. I'm Marvin Grossberger. I'm at your service.
Actually, this is my second time in court.
Still, you surprised me. What with your earnest request last night? Let me handle this case, you suddenly said, and quite forcefully, too.
I just found out yesterday. About the case, I mean.
What? You've already learned all the relevant facts?
Well, about that, yeah, you see, I mean, of course I have. I think...
Oh, dear. In any case, don't let our client see you so nervous. See the poor young man in the pink sweat over there, and that's our client.
Good morning there, everyone. Good morning. Try to keep smiling, Mia. I just want to say, I'll give it all I've got. Yep, it'll be fine. No problem. Oh, what's wrong? Do you have a cold or something, Mr. Wright? Actually, it's Wright. Like the Flying Brothers. People screw it up all the time. And yes, I have a cold. That's what this mask is for. My doc says this way I won't have to give it to anyone else. And I won't give it to anyone else. Be kind to others, he says. Right, Mr. Wright, you have nothing to fear in court today. If you're truly innocent, I promise I will save you. Please let go of my shirt. That's right, he's the one on trial, not you. He's the one that should be nervous. You need to stay strong for your client, Mia. You think you know why he's called Grossberg? Well, that's how he was in the first game, too. So, I was like, yay, Grossberg is back. Of course, he's the one that taught Mia everything, so. And Raccoon, why is your head fucked? My name is Mia Fey. I'm still pretty new at this lawyer thing. The first time I appeared in court was a year ago. But that trial traumatized me so badly, I thought I'd never set foot in another courtroom. See, and that's the case we get to play later. It's been 1 year since then, and, well, here I am, again. But this time I'm gonna win. For my client, and for myself. Oh shit, dog. Here we go.
Smack! Court is now in session for the trial of Phoenix Wright.
The defense is ready, Your Honor.
The prosecution is ready, Your Honor.
The defense today is Miss Mia Fey, was it?
Yes, Your Honor. Is there a problem?
Well, I was under the impression that Marvin Grossberg should be the leading on the defense.
Yes, well, you see, Mr. Grossberg had a bit of an emergency.
Emergency? Oh, but isn't that him standing right there next to you?
Yes, well,
You're just a rookie. Are you sure you can really handle this?
Don't let him scare you, Mia. Give him your toughest look. Of course, Your Honor. I think she's just like Phoenix. I love it.
Well, Mr. Payne, your opening statement, please.
You wallop your head off the table 3 times today, like Von Karma style. That's not good.
Well,
Look at Winston. Winston Payne has hair. Everybody, back in the day.
well. I can't believe a Mary like me has to spend his time babysitting a new defense lawyer. Oh, don't worry, little girl. It'll all be over soon.
What's that all about? Is he trying to trash talk me?
Now then, I'd like to proceed with a summary of events on the day in question. The incident occurred on the campus of Ivy University. The murder victim was a student named Doug Swallow. He was a 4th-year student studying pharmacology.
It sounds like he was a very bright young man.
Yes, well, next we have a photo taken at the scene of the crime. Students discovered the scene shortly after the murder, and they found the victim's body. And the defendant, who had obviously bungled his getaway. They then called the police.
That certainly does make the defendant look very suspicious indeed. Well, very well. The court accepts this photo into the record as evidence.
Crime photo 1. The crime took place behind an IVU building. Think you like the hair? Yeah, we'll see what happened to his hair. This in the right way? No, this is not Phoenix from memory. This is just a flashback case. Date and time of death: 4/9 at 3 p.m. Cause of death was a fatal electric shock. Unless it is Phoenix from memory, I don't think it is. But if not, this is a whole complete. This is a short case, like a tutorial case, I guess. And then we still got the other cases, like normal.
By the way, I can't quite tell the cause of death from this photo.
Your reputation for sagacity is well earned, Your Honor.
I don't even know if that's sagacity is how they pronounce it.
The truth is that this victim died a rather unusual death.
An unusual death?
Oh, what do you mean, Mr. Payne?
Well, perhaps the defense would like to take this question.
Huh?
A simple question. I thought I might loosen you up a bit. I'm a genteel man, if you will.
What? Stand up to him, Mia. Show him what you're made of.
A perfect opportunity. What was it? The cause. Go on. Please say you at least know this much.
I'm so sorry. I didn't get a chance to read through the whole file.
Oh, my hemorrhoids are beginning to act up.
Again.
Now, see here. The details of the case are filed under the court record. But you knew that already, didn't you?
Oh, the court record. I think I can see that pressing the R1 button.
All of the weapons we need can be found in the court record. Take a good hard look at the data there and think carefully before you answer, my dear.
We all know this because we are all the veterans. His cause of death was the fatal electric shock, of course. I've got to stay calm. I can't let that prosecutor get the better of me. The court record. Okay, let's take a look here.
Now then, what did our attorney for the defense please answer the question? What was the cause of death?
Electrocution. I don't know what sagacity means. City. Sagacity. I see what you did there. Judge looks the same age, right? I'm like, the judge hasn't aged a bit. Everyone's a little bit younger, except for the judge. He's just old.
Electrocution? Oh, man. But how could such a thing happen? Did the murderer use some type of new super powerful stun gun, perhaps?
The answer to that will become crystal clear as this trial proceeds, Your Honor. But before that, there is one more vital issue.
What's that?
Why, motive, of course. Apparently, there was some bad blood between the victim and the defendant.
Bad blood?
What do you mean?
Oopsie, I'm terribly sorry. You're the defense attorney, so you must know all about it. I shouldn't be stealing your spotlight like this.
I really don't like this guy's smug attitude.
Well, that's Winston Payne for you. He's one smooth operator, if you catch my drift. They don't call him the rookie killer for nothing, you know.
It's so funny because he's such a trash prosecutor. He's a tutorial prosecutor, and we always rip him apart in every game. So since this is like back in the day, he's a smug son of a bitch, and I hate it. And we gotta knock him down a peg.
Smack. Well, now then, let's hear from the defense. Where's the source of the bad blood between the victim and the defendant? And this time, I would like to see some supporting evidence.
Evidence.
No need to get all worked up over this. As I said, all weapons can be found in the court record. Find the evidence you need and then shove it into old Graybeard's face.
I think the bad blood is Phoenix Wright's girlfriend, Dahlia Hawthorne, dated the victim, Doug Swallow, up until 8 months ago. Uh-oh. We're gonna be dealing with another thought, I guess.
Yes, sir. Into old Graybeard's face.
Mr. Grossberg, try to set a better example for the young lady. Mia, evidence is the only thing in the court record. People's profiles as well.
Blah, 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 blah. We know that.
Now, let's see what you got. Where's the cause of the bad blood between Phoenix Wright and the victim?
It was that hoe over there. The reason for the bad blood between the two of them was this woman here.
Dahlia Hawthorne, is it?
Very good, Miss Faye. You seem to have picked up on at least this much. This woman is the girlfriend of the defendant, Phoenix Wright. But up until about 8 months ago, she was with the victim, Mr. Swallow. Clearly, she has some part to play in this story.
Oh, he's done it again. Before the cross-examination starts, he's already got the judge thinking like he wants. Smack. Well, very well, Mr. Payne, please call your first witness.
If it pleases the court, the prosecution would like to call Mr. Phoenix Wright.
What? The defendant himself? Well, Miss Faye?
It's fine. After all, Mr. Wright is innocent, right? The defense has no objection.
Very well. Smack! The court calls Mr. Phoenix Wright to the witness stand.
Prepare for lots of coughing and sneezing.
Witness, please state your name and occupation.
Prod, I'm sorry. Do you kick your Wi-Fi in the nuts and tell it to straighten up? Yes. My name is Phoenix Wright. My job is, well, right now I guess I'm a suspect.
No, he means what did you do before you were arrested?
Oh! I was a university student.
Mr. Wright, you understand that you are suspected on the death of your fellow student.
But I didn't do it! I'm innocent, I tell you! I'm telling you, I was...
Would the defendant please refrain from passing his code on to the rest of us? It seems that the witness has something he wants to say.
Right then, Mr. Wright, please tell us about your relation to the victim.
Right away, Your Honor. Oh man, I know what I forgot to do. I forgot to slap this link onto the Shilova-kun Facebook page. That's what I forgot to do. Let me do it. I'm doing it right now. Hang on. Slapping. Smearing. Slandering. Done. Yes. Done. Okay. The victim and I. Oh boy, new game, new music. I admit I was there, but I'm not a killer. All I did was find his body. I hardly knew the guy to begin with. I never even talked to that stuck-up British wannabe. Oh yeah, if I remember right too, unlike the last game, the testimonies are a lot shorter in this game, which is fine by me.
I see. So you hardly knew the victim.
Right. Like I said, I'm not a killer. Whew, it looks like the judge understands.
You're being naive, you know. Too naive.
Huh?
It seems that you've forgotten one small thing, young lady.
And that would be?
This witness still has to undergo something called a cross-examination.
Cross-examination?
is right, and it's a defense's duty to carry out the cross-examination. The purpose is to determine if a witness's testimony contains any contradictions.
Contradictions?
If a witness is lying, their statement will conflict with the court record.
But Mr. Wright is my client.
Even if he is your client, in court all lies must be struck down. As a lawyer, that is your duty, you see.
What does he mean by that? Is he saying that testimony just now, that there was a lie? A contradiction?
Smack! Now then, your cross-examination if you please, Miss Fay.
Please, Mr. Wright, tell me you haven't been lying. You wouldn't do that to me, would you? Oh boy. I like college-age Phoenix. I admit I was there. When you say there, you mean the place where the victim was murdered? Yeah, sort of. The place where something happened anyway.
Something? You can't hide what happened. We have photographic evidence.
Anyway, Mr. Wright, what were you doing at the scene of the crime? I thought you said you didn't know the victim, Mr. Swallow. Well, it was just a coincidence. We bumped into each other by accident.
A coincidence, huh?
But I'm not a killer. All I did was find his body. You say you found the body? So who called the police? Huh?
Unfortunately, it was the other students that notified the police.
Other students?
That's correct. They were witnesses. Witnesses who saw the defendant standing there next to the body in shock.
What? Is this true, Mr. Wright?
Achoo! 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 Could you stop sneezing every time you're in a bind? Well, it's true that I was pretty shocked when I found the body, but I hardly knew the guy to begin with. So you didn't know his face or even his name, right? Right. Well, no. That is, I mean... So, which is it? Did you know him or not?
Achoo! Achoo! Now see here! You can't avoid answering the questions by sneezing all day!
Well, I guess I did know his name. News to me? Why didn't he tell me this before? I heard he used to date Dolly.
Who is this Dolly person?
Yes, that would be the defendant's lover, Miss Dahlia Hawthorne.
Oh, I see. Ah, young love. So bittersweet.
But that's all I knew about him. I never even talked to that stuck-up British wannabe. Mr. Wright, you stated the following in your testimony. I hardly knew the guy to begin with. That's right. I mean, why would I even... But that doesn't sound right. If you hardly knew him, then why would you say that the victim was a stuck-up British wannabe? There's that finger point. There's that finger point. Achoo! Well, Mr. Wright... No! It wasn't me! I'm not a killer, I swear!
Smack! Mr. Wright, I will give you an opportunity to revise your testimony. How is it that you knew the victim was, as you put it, a British wannabe?
Yes, well... He was always walking around with a huge Union Jack on the back of his shirt. Did you see it at the crime scene? The Union Jack, I mean. Yes, that's right. I saw it at the crime scene. That's why I figured he must love British stuff, see? It's true. Cross my heart. I swear I didn't do it. He's acting fishier than the salmon I ate last night.
May I ask you something, Miss Fay?
Yes, Your Honor? What is it now?
Who is this person anyway? This Union Jack fellow.
Oh my god. Raccoon be cringing right now.
The Union Jack is the same name as the United Kingdom's flag.
Oh, I see. So you mean like the Stars and Stripes, right?
As usual, Your Honor, your insight astounds me.
Hey, something just occurred to me. Isn't there something strange about this bit just now?
Mia, there is a contradiction here.
Mr. Grossberg?
Quickly now, show that boy you mean business, with evidence, I mean.
Okay, Mia, check the court record carefully.
Well, my dear, do you think you can manage on your own from this point?
I can handle it. 1 year ago, I was in a courtroom just like this. I can do it. I can handle this myself.
You mustn't try to bite off more than you can chew, Mia.
I'll be fine. I know what I have to do.
Remember, you can always press him to get more information. Oh, and one more thing. When you're going to state a contradiction, make sure you present some definitive proof.
Okay, Mia. One more time from the very beginning of the testimony. There's no Union Jack on the back of this jacket. Are you certain you saw the Union Jack? Yeah, I'm sure. It was right there on his back.
Miss Fay, is there some point to this line of questioning?
Your Honor, please take another look at this crime scene photo. As you can see, there's absolutely nothing on the victim's back. Hey, wait a minute! He's wearing a leather jacket! The Union Jack was on the back of the t-shirt he was wearing. I was under the impression that you accidentally came across the body. But if that were really the case, then you wouldn't know that, would you? You'd have no idea at all what he was wearing underneath his jacket. Yeah, hear that music. It's the Mia version of Phoenix's song. Mr. Wright, you've been lying to me. But please forgive me.
Mia, you've made our client cry.
Let him. That P on his chest doesn't stand for Phoenix anyway. That's awesome. I can't believe I trusted him. Mr. Wright was all wrong.
That was an impressive bit of cross-examination. Thank you for uncovering the defendant's lies for me. It's quite clear that this man did not simply stumble upon the scene of the crime.
Uh-oh. Did I go too far?
By the way, Mr. Wright, you seem to have a rather bad cold. Have you taken any medicine for it?
Yeah, I took some, but...
Was the medicine that you took an over-the-counter brand called a Cold Killer X?
Yeah, that's right. It kills colds good. Hey, wait a second. How did you know that I'm a big fan of Cold Killer X?
Would you happen to have that medicine with you right now?
Well, actually, I seem to have lost it somewhere. He lost it? Does this even have anything to do with the case?
Mr. Wright, shall I tell you where your cold medicine is right now?
Huh?
Your Honor, I'd like you to take a look at another photo from the crime scene.
What's this? In the victim's hand? It's Cold Killer X.
Yes, but even I've got a bottle of Cold Killer X in my apartment.
I'm sorry, but I'm afraid that argument won't work. There's no doubt as to who this bottle of Cold Killer X belongs to, especially since Mr. Wright's fingerprints are all over it.
What?
Sensing his murderous attempt, Mr. Swallow must have picked up the bottle of medicine, dropped by Mr. Wright, and hid it in his hand. His purpose in doing so can only have been to identify his killer as Phoenix Wright.
Order in the court.
Your Honor, I'd like to present this photo and bottle as evidence.
Very well. The court will ship them into the court record. Crime photo 2. The victim's watch stopped at the time of death. Cold Killer X found clutched in the victim's hand, covered in Wright's fingerprints.
Also, the victim's wristwatch was broken.
Broken?
Yes, it ceased functioning when a large wave of electricity passed through it. Well, Mr. Wright, do you have some kind of explanation for all this?
Oh, this is really bad.
Oh, my buttocks! My poor hemorrhoids!
God damn it. But you found your lost manga? Awesome. Well, I'm glad you did. Because I know you were hurting for that yesterday.
Well, the truth is, I went because he called me. He was in the pharmacology department, so we agreed to meet at 2:45 behind that building. We talked for a bit, and then around 3, we split up. Then later, when I went back, I found him lying there. I've been taking Go Killer X for the last 2 or 3 days, but I lost my bottle of it around lunchtime on the day of the accident. Mr. Wright, that's completely different from the testimony you gave previously. Achoo! Achoo!
I'm sorry, Your Honor. I was afraid that you wouldn't believe the truth.
You'll forgive me if I say I hardly find your current testimony any more credible. Miss Fay, please begin your cross-examination.
Oh, please, Mr. Wright, don't tell any more lies. The truth is, I went because he called me. Have you ever met the victim before then? No, never! But that day he called me up and told me he wanted to talk about Dolly.
And this Jolly person is?
My, it's kind of embarrassing. She's my, sweetheart.
What was that for?
Mia? Oh, I'm sorry. I just felt like slapping something all of a sudden.
Dahlia Hawthorne was also the lover of the murder victim, Doug Swallow. Before she met Mr. Wright, that is. So, it was one of those nasty love triangles, I see.
He was in the pharmacology department, so we agreed to meet at 2:45 behind that building. Was it Mr. Swallow who indicated that you should meet at 2:45? Yeah, and we were both there right on time.
You said that the victim was in the pharmacology department, correct?
Yeah, he was studying how to manufacture and improve pharmaceuticals. Everyone called him the alchemist of IVU.
An alchemist, I see.
I gotta admit, it was a little suspicious. He had a whole laboratory and everything. It was filled with chemicals and strange machines that run high voltage electricity.
Oh, how fascinating. He sounds like he was quite an ambitious young man.
What do I do? Maybe I should ask him for some more details? The timing of the meeting? So you are absolutely certain that you met at 2:45? Yeah, pretty sure. That's the time class ends. But they're always doing experiments, so it doesn't matter much. Experiments? Yeah, those pharmacology guys are always in the lab whipping up something. Well, it looks like he's right about the time anyway.
Well, let's go on with your testimony.
Let me ask you about the other thing real quick, though. I was wondering if you could tell us a bit more about the pharmacology department. Well, okay, sure. I don't know all that much about it, though. A little bit earlier in your testimony, you said something interesting. You said the department uses strange medicines that run on high voltage electricity. That's right, and they sure look dangerous. They use non-standard voltages, so there are high voltage cables everywhere. High voltage cables? Yeah, there were electrical poles set up all around the building. The high voltage cables run overhead and around the roof. Finally, I think we're getting somewhere. We talked for a bit, and then around 3 o'clock we split up. So what was it you were talking about? You know, that maybe we should hang out again sometime? Hang out again sometime? I wish that were true. Later when I went back, I found him lying there. So you say you went back? Yeah, that's when I found the body. Yes, but why did you go back in the first place? Weren't you angry with him? Well, that's right. I was. Then why, Mr. Wright? Why did you go back there? I thought maybe we could make up.
Judging by the atmosphere, I'm pretty sure no one is buying this. I've been taking Cold Killer X for at least 2 or 3 days. It's rather unusual to catch a cold this time of year, isn't it? Yeah, I always get a little careless when the weather starts to warm up. I guess I shouldn't sleep with the windows open this early in spring, huh? I suppose common sense is not always common. So, did anyone else know that you were taking cold medicine? Well, I always took one after meals, so I'm pretty sure all my friends knew about it. But I lost my bottle of it around lunchtime on the day of the accident. On the day of the incident, what did you do for lunch? Huh? What does that have to do with anything? You can never be too sure. Well, I always eat with Dolly, just the 2 of us. Dolly's homemade lunches are just the greatest. Her mini omelets are magically delicious. Yow! Why did you punch me in the jaw? Oh, I'm so sorry. I just felt like hurting someone all of a sudden. Smack! Well, I think that's enough for now. So the defendant and the victim met at approximately the time of death. And then the defendant returned to the scene for some unknown reason.
I'm not entirely convinced by his explanation about the medicine bottle either.
Let me be frank here, Mr. Wright. Your testimony cannot be trusted. What do you mean?
I knew it was too much work for a little girl.
However, there is still one mystery that remains.
There is, Your Honor?
How the murder was carried out, of course. Just how was the victim electrocuted? I don't believe the murder weapon has been produced yet, correct?
Well, that is, you are correct, Your Honor.
So how exactly was Mr. Swallow killed? If I could somehow establish how it was done, maybe I could still come out of this mess smelling like a rose. Oh man, I know how it was established, but I'm not sure if I can show it now. Your Honor?
Yes, Miss Faye?
I believe that if we were to piece together everything we've heard up until now, we should be able to solve the mystery of how Mr. Swallow died.
That would be most impressive. Quite the brash statement coming from a rookie. But even a beginner like you must understand the basic rules of the court, you see, yes? An attorney must be able to substantiate their arguments with evidence.
Of course I know that. Actually, I'd totally forgotten about that.
Smack! Well then now, Miss Faye, let me see what you've got. Show me how you believe the victim was electrocuted.
Dun dun dun. As for the cause of death, I'd say this picture captures it quite well.
What? But there's nothing here that even remotely resembles a murder weapon here. I'm afraid the defense is going to have to explain this in a bit more detail. Miss Faye, where exactly in the photo is the murder weapon?
Well, naturally, it's right here.
What is that?
A severed electrical cable, I believe, Your Honor. Remember the testimony we've heard? The machines the pharmacology students use in their experiments require high voltage. And because of that, there are special high-voltage cables strung up everywhere.
Oh, so then, the high-voltage cable?
Yes, the high-voltage cable is the cause of death. That is the most likely explanation.
That certainly sounds plausible. Well, Mr. Payne, what do you have to say about this? Well, I believe some praise is in order.
Don't toy with me, old man.
Now, the victim's cause of death may indeed have been a high-voltage cable. How you to think about what that really implies? The only one who had the opportunity to use the cable as a murder weapon was the defendant. Achoo! Well, that much is certainly true. Yes, and that's not all. We have proof. irrefutable proof that will establish that Mr. Wright was the murderer.
You do? What is it?
His fingerprints.
Fingerprints? You mean, that the defendant's fingerprints were on something besides the medicine bottle?
Let's take another look at the crime scene photo. As you can see, the victim is wearing a leather jacket. And as you might know, leather holds fingerprints quite well.
Oh, you mean...
Yes, it was quite clearly imprinted on the chest area of the victim's jacket. The palm print of the defendant's very own hand.
What?
I can only think of one way that Mr. Wright would have left a print like that, and intent on murder. He squarely pushed the victim towards the severed electrical cable.
Smack, smack, smack! Order, order, order! That's enough! I think we can conclude that there's no reason to continue with this cross-examination. Oh, stick on a fork in us. We're done.
Mr. Grossberg?
My hemorrhoids never lie. The show is over, man.
That's gross.
I knew that boy was guilty the first time I saw him.
No, you're wrong. Mr. Wright is innocent.
No further evidence is required to convince me of this man's guilt.
Your Honor.
Smack! At this time, I'm prepared to render a verdict in this case. Do you have something further to add, Miss Fay?
Is this what you want, Mr. Wright? You still haven't told us the truth. The whole truth. If you don't say something now, the judge is going to hand down his verdict. But I can't. I just can't say it. If I told you what really happened, then I'd be... It's okay, Mr. Wright. I'm your attorney. You can trust me. Miss Fay, no matter what it is you have to say, I believe in you, and I'll represent you to the very end.
We've already established the defendant's guilt. There's no further need for him to say anything.
Wait a minute. Mr. Wright, I'll tell you what really happened.
But I've already told you, Mr. Wright, there's no need for further.
I did it. I admit it. I pushed him. It's my fault. My fault that the Doug Swallow is dead. That girl, you shouldn't see her anymore. Hey, it's none of your business. I'm telling you for your sake. If you continue to see her, it's going to be bad news. You're lying. Just listen to me. There's something you need to know about that girl. Stop it! Don't talk about her like that! Why do we have to deal with this first case? Because it's going to be important to later on in the game, that's why. This case is important. Don't you worry.
What you just said, was that the truth?
Yes, I was afraid. Afraid that if I told the truth, everyone would think that I was a murderer for sure.
Well, as things currently stand, we're all absolutely convinced that you are.
Please give me one more chance to explain. This time I swear I'll tell the whole truth. It'll be okay, won't it, Miss Fay? I believe in you. Oh, thank you. I still can't believe it. He really did push the victim.
Oh, it feels like my hemorrhoids are doing the Harlem Shake.
What a reference. Also, super gross. That guy, he was talking bad about Dolly. I lost my temper and gave him a shove. At that moment, I heard some kind of loud noise. A little while after I left, I started to get worried. So I went back, but he was just lying there, dead.
Well, the explanation is really quite simple. When you pushed him, Mr. Swallow flew back and touched the electrical cable. He died from the shock, and that, as they say, is that.
Well, a simple explanation indeed.
At the time of the incident, a light rain had been falling. Wet from the rain, the victim was more easily electrocuted.
But when I pushed him, there weren't any electrical cables nearby. If there had been something like that, even I would have noticed it. That's true. Even a doofus like him could have missed that.
Miss Faye, let me warn you up to right now that if your cross-examination doesn't yield any new facts, I intend to deliver my verdict without further delay. Are we clear on that?
Yes, Your Honor. Don't give up, Mia. If he's innocent, there must be some kind of evidence somewhere that will prove it. He was just lying there, menacingly. That guy, he was talking bad about Dolly. So what kinds of things did Mr. Swallow say to you? He said all sorts of terrible things about Dolly. He said that she was a bad girl.
Is that all?
Yep.
Well, Miss Faye, you heard him yourself.
Oh boy, you're not doing yourself any favors here, Mr. Wright. Please don't make this harder for me than it already is. Anyway, after he said that, I lost my temper and gave him a shove. Can you tell me about what happened in a little more detail? That guy, he said that he just wanted to, he just said what he wanted to say to me. And then he put the jacket he was holding on and started to leave. That's when I lost my temper and flew into a furious frenzy. I just gave him a light, gentle shove to the chest. And when you did that, there was no severed cables anywhere to be seen. Right! There was nothing like that at all!
But is it possible that you merely overlooked it?
Well, I guess it is possible. What are you doing? Don't let that guy steamroll over you with a cheap asphalt? Asphalt? Yeah.
I believe what's important here is at the moment that the push occurred. Let's continue on with the testimony, witness.
At that moment, I heard some kind of loud noise. A loud noise. And what would you say that loud noise was, Mr. Wright? I'm not sure, but it was really loud. It was like snap. You know, come to think of it, I wonder what that was.
Clearly, Your Honor, it was the sound of the victim being electrocuted.
You're not qualified to decide that. What should I do? I'm treading on some dangerous ground here. I think, Mr. Wright, that loud noise you heard may be extremely important, so try to remember what it was. How do I put it? It was like a sharp crack. Aha, could it have been... Yes? Could it have been? Hurry up and tell us! When I pushed him, he dropped the umbrella he was holding. He fell right on top of it and it broke. That was probably the noise I heard. Ouch.
An umbrella, huh? And did that umbrella belong to the victim?
Yeah, it was a plastic umbrella, cheap and frail, kind of like the owner. Well, then again, I wish I had any kind of umbrella. I was totally soaked to the bone.
Miss Faye, what do you think? Is there something important in the testimony just now?
Well, of course it's important. This is it, Mia. The new information you've been waiting for. Of course it's important. No, this cheap umbrella is more than important. It's vital. I want to officially have it entered into testimony.
Ha! How perfectly fitting. Flimsy information for a flimsy lawyer. Schmack! Or the court agrees to the defense's request. Witness, please add this bit of the cheap umbrella to your testimony.
After I shoved him, he fell down on top of his cheap umbrella. So, Mr. Swallow fell on top of his umbrella. Are you certain of this? Yeah, it was right there under him. Actually, if it hadn't been under him, I was planning on borrowing it for myself. The umbrella, you mean?
Well, yeah, you see, I was wearing this sweater here. Dolly stayed up late for nights at a time knitting it for me. I didn't want the rain to dampen the handmade symbol of her love.
Oh, my stomach is not to be used as your personal soccer ball, Mia.
I'm sorry.
Continue on with your testimony witness.
A little after I left, I started to get worried. After you shoved the victim, did you leave the scene right away? Yes, I did. I admit it. I was furious.
You left without even checking Mr. Swallow's condition.
Well, yeah, but like I said, I got worried about him later. So I went back, but he was just lying there, dead. So the umbrella, I just realized, I was like, no, it's all the way the fuck over there. What the fuck? God damn it, Phoenix. You're making this so difficult for me. Fuck you, Pain. Yeah, that's why he winced in pain. Why didn't you testify about the umbrella from the very beginning? Well, come on, if I had mentioned that, I would have been able to counter the prosecution's arguments earlier.
What do you mean by that?
Take another look at the crime scene photo. According to Mr. Wright, the victim fell on top of his umbrella. However, if you look closely, the umbrella is nowhere near the victim. Actually, it's by the electrical pole.
Oh, you're absolutely right.
The conclusion here is obvious. After the defendant left, the victim moved from where he fell. In other words, after he was pushed by the defendant, Mr. Swallow was still alive.
No!
Smack, smack, smack! Order! 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 The victim? He moved? Mr. Payne, the umbrella in this photo. Where is it now?
Well, it was collected by the police at the crime scene.
I want it presented as evidence immediately.
Umbrella owned by the victim, found broken near an electrical pole at the crime scene.
But the umbrella could have simply been blown there by the wind.
According to the testimony, the victim fell on top of the umbrella. There's simply no way it could have been blown up there by the wind.
But...
Smack! I know the matter of the umbrella seems relatively trivial, but as long as the smallest doubt remains, I cannot render final judgment.
No!
I must say, I still find it hard to believe that a huge hole has been blown in the prosecution case by the defendant's testimony.
Phoenix testimony. The victim fell on top of his umbrella. There was a loud sound when this happened.
Well done, Mia. Mr. Payne, what are you chuckling about?
Pardon me, Your Honor. It seems that I was expecting too much of a free ride. It was foolish to think that I could establish guilt through cross-examination alone.
I'm afraid I don't follow what you're saying.
Let me guess, you have another witness.
Exactly, and this witness testimony will be incontrovertible.
Well, who is this witness?
Miss Dahlia Hawthorne.
Dahlia Hawthorne? You don't mean Dolly?
I do, Your Honor. The defendant's very own lover is a witness to the whole thing. That's right. She was at the scene of the crime when the murder took place.
What?
I'm sorry to break the bad news to you, my dear.
Bad news? You couldn't be more wrong. Actually, I've been waiting for this.
You can't be serious.
Mia, what do you mean by that? Smack! Well, I think this is a good point for us to stop at. Court will now enter a 20-minute pee break. Recess. Afterwards, we will listen to the testimony of Miss Dahlia Hawthorne. Smack!
"11:52 a.m. Miss Faye, I'm sorry about what happened back there. It's all right. At least you told us the truth in the end, Mr. Wright. Yeah, so I guess I can start to relax, huh?
Relax, my boy. You can't be serious after hiding such important facts.
But the next witness is my Dolly, right? She'll save me. I just know she will. Why do you think that?
Huh? What do you mean? She's the love of my life, that's why. The love of your life, huh? Would you mind telling me more about you and, Miss Dahlia Hawthorne? Sure, no problem! Dahlia and we first met about 8 months ago right here in this very courthouse. Actually, I'm studying to be a lawyer, on the side anyway. One day, she and I bumped into each other in the reading room downstairs. That's why I really think it was fate that brought us together. As soon as I first set eyes on her, I knew she was the one for me. Oh, here, take a look at this. She gave this to me on the day we met as a symbol of our love. She had been wearing it around her neck that day, but then she took it off. But before she gave it to me, she said, "I want you to carry this." So she gave it to you as a present, I see. This darling little bottle is filled with memories of my darling little Dolly. It certainly is a little bottle, all right. It makes me so happy. I show it to everyone I meet. I want to share my happiness with the whole world. Oh, poor Phoenix. Dolly's bottle, a small bottle necklace given to Wright on the day they met. He shows it to everyone. Anyway, so after that you and Miss Hawthorne started dating? Yeah, but she's so shy. Every time I see her, she always says the same thing to me. Please give it back now. What a strange girl, asking for a present back like that? By the way, Mr. Wright, the day you first met Dahlia Hawthorne, 8 months ago, it wouldn't happen to have been on August 27th, would it? Huh? Yeah, it was! But how did you? This happened on August 27th, right here in this courthouse. What's this? A newspaper clipping? Oh, let's see. Murder in the courthouse? Murder? What are you reading there? Let me see that. Oh, I see. Mia, I think I understand what you're trying to say. And I think I understand why you suddenly took a keen interest in this case. You believe there is some connection between these two cases, am I right? Newspaper clipping added to the court record. Who the fuck is scaring that fucking pain, right? It's like, yeah, you like that pain? You like that, you dick? Very little information is being disclosed at this time, since the victim of yesterday's incident in the district courthouse cafeteria is said to have been a lawyer. However, police are questioning the 19-year-old female college student who was sitting with the victim. Uh-oh. I hope you don't mind, Mr. Grossberg. I need to finish this myself. Oh, yes, but I'm afraid what you will have will not be enough, my dear. I'll go and have a look at the downstairs reading room and see what else I can find. Thank you. I want to do whatever I can to be of help with you, Mia. Well, it looks like recess is about over. We better get moving. I guess so. That recess sure seemed longer than 20 minutes, though. To be continued. And we're going to continue. Yay, new music, yay! I get hyped for new music. I don't know why, but I'm all stuffy too. It's great when I'm reading Phoenix, but I apologize for everything else. Schmack! Court will not reconvene. Mr. Payne, please call your witness.
This next person is someone who witnessed the crime as it happened. The prosecution calls Miss Dahlia Hawthorne to the stand.
Kawaii! Recess is over. It's over. What's with the stiff silence? In my long career as a judge, I have been deceived by many witnesses. It's my job to doubt, to take no one at their word. But in your case, I must admit you radiate a glow of complete sincerity. I can't believe he actually said that.
Oh, now then, witness, could you please state your full name?
Don't worry, sweetie. There's no need to be nervous.
If anyone says anything rude, you can be sure I'll cut them right down to size. And now bash them with my gavel.
I love how they look straight at me when they say that.
Thank you for calming my nerves. You're all so nice. I almost feel right at home.
Oh, not at all. It was nothing.
If we may move on now, what is your full name and occupation?
My name is Dahlia Hawthorne. I'm a junior in literature at Ivy University. I just want to say it's an honor for me to be here in your noble presence.
Oh, the honor's all mine. No, that's all mine.
Well, now we know whose milkshake brings all the boys to the yard.
Sir?
Is there something I can help you with? No, you just go ahead. Say whatever is on your mind.
I'm sure that there must be some kind of mistake. Feeny wouldn't kill anyone, I just know it.
Yes, sure. I can see why you say that.
She's gonna be a tough witness, all right. It only took her 12 seconds to wrap them all around her little finger.
Smack. All right, now then, please proceed with your testimony. Let's hear about what you witnessed on the day of the incident, if you please.
I had been planning to go back to Feeny's place after class was over. Feeny and Dougie, they were talking behind the building. Then, suddenly, Dougie got all wobbly and just collapsed. That's when Feeny noticed that I was there. I went to go find some other students, and they called the authorities.
I don't know what to say. According to you, Miss Hawthorne, the defendant didn't do anything wrong.
Or the camera has a crush on this girl? Because she's so kawaii, that's why. Yep, they sure do. Yeah, they sure do.
Young lady, as old as I am, even I recall how hot the flames of youth passion can burn. Nevertheless, it's my job to discover the truth. Please, tell us the truth.
But I would never.
That's more than enough, witness. I won't allow this to continue.
What do you mean by that?
Please, just let me proceed with my cross-examination, Your Honor. I, for one, don't plan to win my case on a bunch of paper-thin lies.
You haven't changed a bit, Mia Fey.
What's this? So you two are acquainted?
Yes, we've met before. Once.
Schmack! Or in any case, Miss Fey, the floor is all yours.
It's good to see you again, Madame Fey.
Madame? I'm no one's grandma yet, girlie. Last one! Hello, last one! It's a bird, it's a plane. No, it's a lost one. Oh, it's a lost boy. Hello, lost boy. You are now found, boy.
I had been planning to go back to Feeny's place after class was over. Now, unless I'm mistaken,
Mr. Wright, is in the art department. If that's the case, then what were you doing by the pharmacology building?
Well, I'm in the literature department. I'm studying Japanese senryu poetry.
Oh, how wonderful! It's that humorous yet satirical side of haiku, yes?
Nothing left to do. When a man reaches this age, sleep is his best friend.
That's supposed to be poetry? Sounds more like a midlife crisis.
For me to get to the art department, I have to walk through that back area.
Ah, yes, I see. That makes sense. When I want to enter the courthouse, I always walk through the front doors.
How else would you enter? Teleportation?
Feeny and Dougie, they were talking behind that building.
So, who is this Dougie person?
Oh, I'm sorry. Doug Swallow. We were dating until about 8 months ago.
So, what were Dougie, Mr. Swallow, and Mr. Wright talking about anyway?
How can you be so mean? I would never eavesdrop. I wasn't raised to be so rude and unrefined.
That's right, Miss Fey. Don't drag the witness down to your level.
Why am I being demonized here?
Please, go on. What do you see next?
Then suddenly, Dougie got all wobbly and just collapsed.
Are you saying that the victim just collapsed on his own?
Yes.
In other words, the defendant never touched the victim. Is that right?
I was watching the whole time. Feeny never did a thing to Ducky.
If I press her for no good reason, I just know the judge will get angry with me. What should I do about her testimony just now? Feeble lies are not very becoming, Miss Hawthorne, so let's drop them, shall we?
What? I would never.
Miss Fay, I will not allow you to badger this witness. I believe the defense is engaged in a fishing expedition. That is, she has no supporting.
Get him, Mia, get him.
But please don't glare at me like that, I'm just doing my job.
Now then, Miss Hawthorne. The defendant's palm print was found on Mr. Swallow's leather jacket. It has already been shown that Mr. Wright did, in fact, push the victim.
What?
There's no need to try to cover for the defendant. It would be much better if you came out and told us the whole truth.
Well, there's nothing to worry about, young lady. Just tell us everything that you saw.
Yes, Your Honor, I will. If you don't mind, I'd like to revise my testimony.
Looks like we're finally getting somewhere.
Actually, I didn't see the moment he pushed Ducky.
You didn't see it?
Well, I saw the moment when Dougie fell to the ground.
And at that time, there were only two of them at the scene. The defendant, Phoenix Wright, and the victim, Doug Swallow.
Yes, that's right. It didn't look like they were fighting, and I didn't hear anything unusual either.
So then, what did it look like they were doing to you? What did it look like they were doing to you? Not doing to you. They weren't doing anything to you.
I thought they were having a nice, friendly afternoon conversation.
Oh, give me a break.
That's why I really wasn't watching them all that closely.
Did you notice anything out of the ordinary at all?
No, nothing at all, Mr. Judge.
Oh, Mr. Judge.
Oh, I like the sound of that. Mr. Judge. Oh, now then, please proceed with your testimony.
Let me... I already pushed her on that. And then this. When you say students, do you mean the students from the pharmacology department?
Yes, they're all very fond of the drugs.
Please try to stay on topic. So to find some pharmacology students, you went to the lab, correct?
That's what I was planning to do, but in the end, I wound up not going. A group of about 10 research students came running out of the building entrance. Somehow they all seemed to know what was going on.
The students knew what was going on? But how could the students have known what was going on?
Well, I don't know for sure what they knew what had happened. It's just, they all seemed kind of excited about something.
It doesn't look like I'm going to get any more info about the students.
So, did the students call the police?
Yes, I was just so panicked.
Yes, well, anyone would have been, my dear.
That girl, she's telling a super obvious lie, and she knows it. She's just pretending to protect Mr. Wright. Yes, that's gotta be it. Way to go, Mia. Okay, that means I'm gonna have to dig deep to find the contradiction on this one.
Why are there butterflies near you?
They're just an effect that the developers took off of YouTube and put them here because they're lazy with effects. No, the butterflies are just there to show that she is sweet and innocent. Supposedly. Okay, so... Okay, there it is. She didn't hear anything unusual. But there was a loud sound when it happened. That's gotta be it. Yep. You say you didn't hear anything unusual, is that correct?
Yes, that's why I was very relaxed looking at the scenery around me.
You bitch. That's nice, but I find that just a little odd. I have here the testimony of your boyfriend, Mr. Phoenix Wright. And he clearly testified to the effect that when he pushed the victim, he heard a sharp, loud noise.
He said that?
If you were really that close to the two of them, why didn't you hear this noise as well?
Well, maybe the noise just wasn't all that memorable.
But according to Mr. Wright's testimony, it was a sharp noise like a snap. There's no way a noise like that would fail to make an impression.
Wah!
May I have a moment to answer?
Oh, by all means!
I know the reason why I didn't hear the noise.
Oh my god.
You see, the truth is, I had my headphones on and was listening to music at the time.
Headphones? You mean that both of your ears were covered?
The rain was just beginning to let up, but it seemed as though Thor wasn't ready for his fun to come to an end yet, so the sky continued to flash and rumble.
Thunder and lightning, huh?
Yes, I'm afraid of the sound of thunder, so I put my headphones on to block it out.
Well, Your Honor, as you can see, there weren't any contradictions in her testimony after all.
Wait a sec, Mia. That testimony just now. She said something that could totally change this whole case. She said there was lightning. Your Honor, there is a problem with the witness testimony.
What do you mean?
Didn't you notice? She said there was lightning, correct?
Oh, yeah. What about it?
Well, lightning is actually a large discharge of electricity in the atmosphere. Am I right?
Oh, now's not the time for a science lesson, Miss Faye.
Yes, Your Honor. Anyway, since the cause of the death was electrocution, isn't it possible that the victim died from being hit by a bolt of lightning?
Oh, Smack! Well, I must admit that the thought had not occurred to me.
Just what kind of thoughts do occur to this guy anyway? This entire case is built on the premise that Mr. Doug Swallow was murdered, but that very premise itself is mistaken. The defense believes that Mr. Swallow was in fact the victim of a stray bolt.
Smack! Smack! It appears the defense may be onto something. Could it be that the death was actually an accidental?
All right, you did it, Mia. I'll be taking that not guilty now if...
I'm hurt that you'd have such a low opinion of me, Miss Faye.
Huh?
I'm not a fool, you know. The prosecution has done its research, Your Honor. We found that there were no lightning strikes on the day in that location.
What?
What's more, we have evidence that the electrical cable is definitely linked to this case. Evidence? Mr. Payne, what is evidence? This affidavit. And who is this affidavit from? The pharmacology students who were conducting experiments in their labs on that day. Allow me to read to the court the testimony of the pharmacology students. All equipment in the labs lost power all of a sudden at around 3 o'clock p.m. that day. Was it a blackout? All of the lab's equipment runs on high voltage, Your Honor.
So you're saying that the equipment lost power because...
Precisely. They lost power because of the severed electrical cable. The power outage occurred at approximately 3 o'clock p.m.,
which fits with the time of death listed in the autopsy report.
Exactly. In other words, the victim died as a result of touching the severed electrical cable. According to the students, the cables were very old. They were planning on having them replaced in the near future.
I see.
Apparently, the cables had become so brittle that even the smallest bump would have caused them to break.
Geez, that's safe. The old power cable broke due to some sort of impact on 4-9 at 2:55 p.m. However, there is one thing that troubles me. If the cable could have been broken by any small bump, then it wouldn't have snapped if it hadn't been bumped into, correct?
Well, I suppose you could say that.
Miss Faye, do you have any thoughts regarding the cause of the severed cable? Your Honor? I don't like how this is looking one bit. I have to come up with something to try to regain some momentum. If it pleases the court, the defense would like to state its opinion.
Well then, let's hear it.
Who or what was it that caused the cable to break? Oh boy. Goat from Goat Simulator for Smash Ultimate. Oh my god. Yes. Yes. I would totally love that. He would just be ragdolling. Any button you press would just make him ragdoll, so just be running around ragdolling and slamming into people. That would be great. I'm not sure which... I'm not sure which of the... It would have been that. Smooth the umbrella, but I don't... I remember playing this in the past, and every time I present the umbrella, it's wrong. For some reason. Are those poles really that low to the ground? It's so dangerous. I just pulled up my FAQ and it says to present Phoenix's profile here. Your Honor, please think back to Mr. Wright's testimony.
The defendant's testimony?
He said that after he pushed the victim, he heard a loud, sharp noise. Now, this happened around 3 o'clock p.m., correct?
Oh yeah, that sounds about right. Wait, are you saying that...
The lab equipment lost power at 2:55 p.m., which fits right in Mr. Wright's timeline. In other words, it was Mr. Wright's shove that caused the power outage. Damn, Phoenix.
Yes, the prosecution also came to that same conclusion. And it was that very shove that caused Mr. Swallow to be electrocuted.
I'm afraid I can't agree with you there, Mr. Payne.
What's that supposed to mean?
Take a good look at where the victim landed after being shoved. Alright, Raccoon. Good night to you. Read your manga. Have a good sleep. Trampoline, headbutt, charge.
Down special lick. Lick would be the best. Or he should have a tether grab to the lick so he can grab the ledge with it. He should totally do that. See the umbrella? It's by the electrical pole. That's right. The victim banged into the pole as a result of being pushed. It was that impact that caused the cable to break.
Well, that makes sense. And then the victim was electrocuted.
I'm sorry, Your Honor, but no. It doesn't make sense at all. If the victim was shoved into the far pole, then he couldn't have been electrocuted by the severed cable in the foreground here.
Wah!
In other words, someone other than my client must have electrocuted the victim.
Smack, smack, smack! Order in the court!
Ah, the lamentations of my enemy. How I've longed to hear them.
It's true. The defense is absolutely correct. There doesn't seem to be any way the defendant could have done it.
Mr. Judge, sir, may I say something? The Madame Attorney's explanation. She said some things that are a little different than I remember them. What the? Please, just once more. May I please testify one last time, please, Mr. Judge?
Well, of course it's all right. Oh, just go right ahead and give your own new testimony there.
This is it. She's finally started to show her true colors. The truth is, Feeney pushed him twice. The first time was into the electrical pole. That's when the cable broke. Then Dougie tried his best to run away from him, but Feeney caught up to him and crashed into him from behind. The cable snapping, and Dougie being electrocuted. It all occurred in less than a minute.
So after being shoved,
The victim got up and tried to run away.
and that's when the defendant pushed him for the second time.
I'm so sorry, Feeney, but I just have to tell the truth. Am I doing the right thing? Am I, Mr. Judge?
Oh, of course you are, my dear. Oh, as painful as it may seem, you are. Smack. Now then, Miss Fay, you may proceed with your cross-examination.
Oh, please. Fucking bullshit. Feeney pushed him twice. Miss Hawthorne, previously in your testimony, you said the following. Actually, I didn't see the moment he pushed Dougie.
I know. I'm sorry. I wanted to protect Feeney.
So that's why you basically lied to the court?
I was a bad girl, I know. Mr. Judge?
Yes?
Would you please forgive little old me?
Of course he won't. What you did is called perjury.
Oh, come on now. It was just a little white lie. We'll forget it this time, but please be more careful from now on, all right?
Oh, thank you so much, Mr. Judge.
Oh, not at all.
The judge had better be more careful himself. A dark alley is friendlier than that girl.
The first time...
Trophy earned, beware, Your Honor. That's weird. That's fucking weird. The first time was into electrical pole. That's when the cable broke. You're saying that you actually saw the victim get pushed into the electrical pole?
I know he doesn't look it, but Feeney can be a bit of an imp when he wants to be.
Oh, really?
But I never imagined that he would cause an electrical cable to break. Feeney really is scary when he gets mad.
Oh, yeah, he sounds like a very dangerous individual indeed.
Then Dougie tried his best to run away from him.
So let me get this straight. You were happily listening to music on your headphones while you watched this scene unfold?
Miss Fay, I'll have to ask you to stop badgering the witness.
I wasn't happy. I was so scared that I couldn't even move. All I could do was stand there and cheer them on.
Cheer them on? What do you mean by that?
Well, I wished the best for them both, and that they would each give the fight their all.
Oh, well, that's very sweet of you to be so supportive. And what happened after that?
But Feeney caught up and crashed into him from behind.
That doesn't quite sound right. There were headphones found in the chest of the victim's leather... There were handprints found on the chest of the victim's leather jacket. Mr. Payne, were there also prints found on the back of the leather jacket?
No, there weren't.
Madame Faye, may I suggest that you listen a little more carefully? I said that he crashed into him from behind, right? My Feeny wouldn't leave any prints behind in that case, would he? The cable snapping and Dougie being electrocuted, it all occurred in less than a minute. Did you actually witness the moment the victim was electrocuted? I'm sorry, I didn't actually see it. I turned my eyes away.
Oh, that's understandable. Yes, you did. It would have been a horrific sight for anyone to behold.
If I don't figure out the contradiction here, it's all over. She didn't have much time to come up with her lies, so this is my best chance. There must be a hole in her testimony somewhere. Think, Mia. Beware your honor achievement unlocked, Judge. Oh,
Why do I hear this over the game music? Who's that playing on PlayStation? Get that out of my courtroom.
okay, so... This one gotta be bullshit, cause... Cause of the watch?
Ashabam!
That's enough, witness! You fucking thought. I'm afraid I don't understand. You will in a minute. Can you please take a look at this picture? No game over music? Like game failure music? Ugh, I don't like game failure music. That's the worst. Oh, that medicine. That's the one Feeny likes to take for his cold. It's not the medicine I want you to look at. It's the wristwatch. It stopped. I guess I could have shown either one. It stopped at the precise time the victim was electrocuted. In other words, 3:05 p.m.
Yes, and your point is, Miss Faye?
My point is this. What time was it when the lab suffered the power outage due to the cable snapping?
Well, according to the student's testimony, the answer is clear. It was 2:55 p.m. Oh!
Would you care to explain to the court, Miss Dahlia Hawthorne, what exactly happened during this 10-minute interval? The defense proposes that it was during this interval that the real murderer killed Mr. Doug Swallow.
Smack, smack, smack! Order in the court. What is it about? This is all nonsense. The real murderer?
Even you can't deny that the time between the cable breaking and the electrocution are completely unaccounted for.
Well, then who was it? Who else are you saying could have done it?
Oh, there's only one person who could have murdered Mr. Swallow. Only after my client had left the scene. Was there a window of opportunity for the real killer?
Miss Faye, is the defense ready to indict someone as the real killer?
It's finally time. This is the moment I've been waiting for. Yes, Your Honor, we are ready.
Very well, but remember, if you accuse the wrong person, you will be penalized. Think very carefully before you speak, Miss Faye. Smack! Who is the real killer?
Oh my god, I pressed the wrong button. I pressed the wrong button. I pressed the wrong button. I'm sorry. I was trigger happy. It can only have been you, Dahlia Hawthorne.
What? How can you? The defense is grasping at straws.
10 minutes passed between the time that the cable broke and the time of the electrocution. What exactly were you doing the whole time, Miss Hawthorne? Were you really listening to some music while cheering them both on as they fought? I find it hard to believe that you didn't lift a finger to stop the man dearest to you.
Smack, smack, smack! What order? Miss Faye, what? I mean, why? Is it...
Miss Hawthorne, I believe you did witness the two men fighting on that day. However,
After Mr. Wright pushed the victim and subsequently left the scene, it was you who pushed Mr. Swallow to his death by your very own hands. Ah! Super feminine scream.
How could you say something so mean, Madame Faye? I didn't do anything.
Smack! Miss Faye, this is a very serious charge you are...
Your Honor! Please, I have something I want to say!
You? What is it?
Please strike everything the defense says just now from the record! What the? Are you daft? You're totally wrong, Miss Faye! Dolly, she couldn't do something like that!
Smack! Mr. Wright, get back to your seat! Bailiff, grab that man!
No! Achoo! Achoo! Leave my Dolly alone! Achoo!
Oh, he's gotten himself in way over his head.
Oh, Mr. Grossberg, you're back!
Oh, it seems I've arrived just in the nick of time. I found a police report on that incident in your newspaper clipping.
Woohoo! Thank you so much. This is exactly what I was hoping for.
You better take a good look at it.
Okay, I'm gonna look at it. I'm gonna look at it right now. Let me look at it. Location, District Courthouse Cafeteria, August 27th, 4 o'clock p.m. Diego Armando, age 28, lawyer. Suspect, Dahlia Hawthorne, age 19. Armando ingested poison while interviewing the suspect regarding another case. Traces of poison were found in the victim's coffee cup. No poison was found in the vicinity on the suspect's person. It is unclear how the poison entered the victim's coffee cup.
It details how you came to lose your boyfriend.
Mia's boyfriend? What?
Now then, the defense has made a very serious accusation. Mr. Payne, what do you have to say about this?
Well, really, Your Honor, May I interrupt you for just a moment, Mr. Prosecutor?
Oh, don't you worry, my dear. I have the situation well in hand. Oh, well, that is, go right ahead.
Madame Faye, are you seriously accusing me of killing my sweet Dougie?
Yes, I am. Not only am I saying that you murdered Doug Swallow, but you also tried to pin the whole thing on your current lover, Phoenix Wright.
I told you that you should let me handle this.
Oh, sorry. Please go right ahead.
How can you say that? I'm absolutely devoted to my dear Feeny. The notion that I would try to frame him is ludicrous. This is all just too much for poor little me to bear.
Oh, I believe the girl is trying to ask what on earth her motive might be.
The answer to that lies somewhere in this police report. It must. 8 months ago, an incident occurred in the basement cafeteria of this building, and then, that same day, the two of them accidentally meet. Your Honor, the defense requests further testimony from Miss Dahlia Hawthorne.
Further testimony? What about?
About the events on the day when she first met the defendant, Mr. Phoenix Wright.
What could that possibly have to do with this case?
The witness claims that she has no reason to frame the defendant. Am I right? Well, I have the evidence that suggests that she does, in fact, have a very good reason.
Oh, smack! Well, very well then. The court grants the defense's request. Young lady, would you mind staying on for just a little bit longer?
Of course not, Mr. Judge. Get ready for the battle of your life, Dahlia Hawthorne. How I Met My Feeny. I first met my darling Feeny 8 months ago. It's like we were destined to meet in this very courthouse's basement's reading room. The moment our eyes met, my heart skipped a beat. We've been going out ever since that fateful day. We're so lovey-wovey that it literally makes people sick. It's just jealousy, I think.
Phoenix interjects. Mr. Wright, do that again and you will be held in contempt of court.
And now we enter the final act of our little drama. As we used to say in the days of my youth, go get her. Guess what?
I first met my darling Feeny 8 months ago. So until that time, you had been dating Doug Swallow. Yes, I'm a real fool, I know. Letting my emotions change so quickly, I'm ashamed of myself.
No, not at all. Look at me, I'm infamous for changing my mind. My critics have even taken to calling me Dutch Pickle.
Maybe you should look for a different line of work.
Despite that, however, he always has on the correct verdict. That's why some people also call him the Great Judge Genie.
It's like we were destined to meet in this very courthouse's basement reading room. The courthouse's reading room. That's a strange place to meet the love of your life. That's not true, Madame Faye. After all, Feeny was not only an art student, but he was also planning on becoming a lawyer. I'm not talking about him. I'm talking about you, Miss Hawthorne. What was a literature student like you doing in a courthouse reading room?
This line of questioning is a waste of time. It has nothing to do with our murder case.
Miss Faye, I'm warning you. If this has nothing to do with Mr. Swallow's case...
I have to remember the judge is on Dahlia's side. I'd better tread carefully. But, But fuck you. Your Honor, if you'll allow me some latitude, I think I can establish relevance. Please ask her to continue on with the testimony.
Very well. Young lady, I've got a simple question for you. What were you doing downstairs in the courthouse reading room?
If it pleases your Honor, the answer is simply this. I had come to this courthouse to do some research for a paper I was writing. You were writing a paper on what? On the relationship between modern Senryu poetry and the criminal underworld.
That sounds like a fascinating research idea.
Am I getting old? Now I've even forgotten what I've forgotten. Again with the midlife crisis stuff.
Mia, why did that girl really come to this courthouse? Isn't that what you wanted to know? And speaking of forgetting things, you haven't forgotten the police report, have you? I went through a lot of trouble to get it, my dear, so please sure to read it carefully.
The moment our eyes met, my heart skipped a beat. So what was it about Mr. Wright that made your heart malfunction like that? In my personal opinion, he just looks like a typical snotty-nosed college brat. Well, perhaps to a woman your age, but to me, Feeny is handsome. Perhaps to you, Miss Hawthorne, but to the rest of the planet, he's a dime a dozen.
Love is a mysterious thing, and I object to this line of questioning. If you were to look at my wife, for example, you might all be shocked.
He's telling the truth. It was truly shocking.
Beautiful mushroom growing tall in the darkness, it comes from cow dung. That's the poem that best describes how I feel about my Feeny.
Poor Phoenix. Okay, so... the statement that was added... You weren't here because you were researching, doing the research paper. You were here because of the fucking court incident, you fucking hoe. You fucking thought. You fucking cunt. You fucking bitch. Miss Hawthorne, you weren't here because of your research paper, were you? Didn't you actually come here for a much more important reason?
What is the meaning of that cocky smile on your face, Miss Faye?
8 months ago, right here in this very courthouse, there was another tragedy.
Another tragedy?
Do you mean the incident in which the attorney was poisoned?
The name of the suspect that is in the incident is listed here in this report. And that name is Dahlia Hawthorne.
Dahlia Hawthorne?
Yes, the sweetie pie of everyone's eye, Miss Dahlia Hawthorne. She was the prime suspect in a criminal case just 8 months ago.
Smack, track, smack! Order! This is unbelievable. It's true then. That love is in...
Miss Faye, that's not fair. You can't slander my witness in an unrelated case.
I, Winston Payne, will not allow it. Mr. Prosecutor, I believe I was speaking.
Oh, pardon me. Go right ahead.
It's true that about 8 months ago, the police expressed some interest in me.
What? Express some interest, huh?
Mr. Judge, sir, I know I'm under oath, so I'll tell you the absolute truth. I did not commit the crime that occurred during the incident 8 months ago.
I see.
Okay, I've tied the two crimes together. Now I've just gotta stay on the offensive.
Well done, Mia. Oh, you've really lit a fire in my heart and in my buttocks. I can hardly tell which is more inflamed, my spirit or my hemorrhoids. God damn it. I can't. My ash is on fire. Guess what?
I met the lawyer who was poisoned to discuss something on the cafeteria that day. I left my seat for just a moment, and that's when it happened. From what I heard, it was a liquid poison that is lethal at just 2 teaspoons. Not only that, I heard it was a very special kind of poison. So you see, I'm innocent. I wouldn't even know where to get a poison like that.
Well, so that's what happened here 8 months ago.
However, as you've heard from the witness testimony, she had nothing to do with it. I think the defense is just about out of tricks.
I'm terribly sorry, Mr. Payne, but I'm afraid the defense has many more tricks up its sleeve today, and I'll be sure to show them to you before the end of this cross-examination.
Wow! What the? What is the defense suddenly feel stronger?
Ah, Mia. Oh, you're glowing with a true lawyer's aura, my dear. Oh, that proud posture and self-confidence absolutely smashing.
I met the lawyer who was poisoned to discuss something in the cafeteria that day. And what were you talking about with the defense attorney? Well, I'm sorry, but that's confidential.
According to the report, you were being interviewed regarding another case.
The lawyer that was killed, he said he wanted to talk about an incident that I was caught up with when I was younger. Why don't you tell us all about what that incident was?
That has absolutely nothing to do at all with this case.
Objection sustained. The defense question is stricken from the record.
You get involved in a lot of incidents, don't you, Miss Hawthorne? Well, I guess I was just born under a bad sign.
Don't worry, Dolly. I'll protect you. You heard the man. Now that is true love, young lady.
Oh, Feeny, please. Gag, those two really are making me ill, albeit for decidedly different reasons. I left my seat for just a moment, and that's when it happened. How long were you gone? I've already answered all those questions for the police, but if you must know, maybe 10 or 20 minutes? And where were you during that stretch of time? Using the toilet?
What are you saying, Miss Faye? Toilet? My perfect little Dolly doesn't poop. You heard the defendant, Miss Faye. Better luck next time.
Oh, Feeny, please.
The police have already looked into the whole matter. This line of questioning is nothing but a waste of the court's time.
Objection sustained. Miss Hawthorne, please continue your testimony.
From what I heard, it was a liquid poison that's lethal at just 2 teaspoons. About how much liquid is 2 teaspoons?
Well, let me see here. My bottle of eye drop says it's about a half fluid ounce, which is equal to about 3 teaspoons.
So it's about 2/3 of that amount, huh? The poison was found in the lawyer's mug of coffee. It must have been after I left the table. Someone must have quietly slipped it in there. Not only that, I heard it was a very special kind of poison. A special kind of poison? How so? Well, I heard that it's almost impossible to detect.
Oh, and what would something like that come from?
I'm sorry, all I know is what I overheard from the policeman saying. They said something about using advanced chemical processes to purify it.
Chemical processes? Well, that's quite impressive. Most impressive.
The better question is, how did the criminal get something like that? So you see, I'm innocent. I wouldn't even know where to get a poison like that. And that's the reason they didn't arrest you? Because no one could show you how you could have gotten the poison? I think that's a good enough reason, Madame Faye.
Well, she's right, and I think we've all had about enough of Miss Faye's questionings.
So in essence, the main reason Miss Hawthorne was never arrested for this crime was because no one could show how she could have obtained the poison.
Then all we have to do is find a way to establish how she could have gotten some, right? Great. Now, just how did a literature student get a hold of poison of all things?
I don't know, maybe from her pharmacology boyfriend?
You wouldn't know how to get that kind of poison. I don't believe you. Emma Sky. Emma's like, oh man, they're kissing. I have to record this down for some scientific investigations, and then she jots down in her notebook or something. I don't know. What'd you say? Or she would blush. Like, oh, that's so sweet. Maya and piranha plant. It's kind of gross. It's kind of interesting for science. And then she starts taking pictures. In fact, you had easy access to that kind of poison, didn't you? At your boyfriend's lab.
Boyfriend? You mean the victim, Duck Swallow?
That's right. Up until 8 months ago, Miss Hawthorne was dating Mr. Swallow. And if you'll recall, Mr. Swallow was a pharmacology student at Ivy University.
Pharmacology?
His laboratory contained highly advanced chemistry equipment. In fact, without such equipment, the culprit could never have obtained such a rare and special poison. Well, Miss Hawthorne, it seems that you had access to such a poison after all. And then, it was a matter of slipping into the victim's coffee when he wasn't looking. The only person who could have done this was the one sitting at his table, at the very table, you. Oh no, I have hiccups now. No!
Smack, smack, smack! Order, order, order! Could it be?
That's nothing but a baseless...
May I say something, Madame Faye? What is it, Miss Hawthorne? The amount of poison in the coffee was 2 teaspoons, correct? In order to carry that much liquid, you would need some kind of container.
Yeah, well, that's true.
I was searched immediately after the incident took place. Oh my god, hiccups.
Quite true. In fact, the entire courthouse was turned upside down.
But they didn't find any suspicious containers anywhere, did they? She's right. They've even mentioned that in the report. Oh my god. Well, you could have easily gotten rid of something that small. Excuse me, madam, but this is a court of law. If you're saying I threw the poison container away, I think, and you need to show some kind of proof. Proof? Oh, she got me good with that.
Smack! Provide me some evidence or I'll have to disallow this line of questioning, Miss Faye. Unless we can come up with some evidence or we're going to lose this lead.
The police conducted a full-body search of Dahlia and of the entire courthouse, and yet the container holding the poison disappeared right after the crime occurred.
If you're going to accuse the young lady of committing murder, then where is this container the poison was carried in, and what happened to it?
Let me see. The 2 hours later shows Emma studying the photos and sketches me. I think that what they think it is things like fly trappers, pollen collection ears, metal thorn arms. Yeah, she does. It's like, yes, of course. Or could it be a kissing fly trap? Gasp. So this would be... Yeah, take that. You were forced to get rid of the container in a hurry, weren't you? And that's why you passed it on to someone who had nothing to do with the case. Oh my god, hiccups. Someone that you knew wouldn't be searched.
Who is this person?
Mr. Phoenix Wright, of course.
So the defendant was the witness's accomplice?
Of course not. She gave the poison to him, disguised as a present.
What? But that's...
Oh, that's a charming little necklace. Is this a little bottle? Oh, it's really quite cute. So what about it? What does this mean, Miss Faye?
The day that the witness met and fell for Mr. Phoenix Wright was 8 months ago. August 27th, the very same day as the poisoning incident. Under the pretense of love, the witness gave my client a present. All for the purpose of hiding the one piece of evidence that wouldn't give her away. That would give her away. You can see that Mia's wearing a magatama on her neck, just like Maya. It's awesome.
What? Are you saying that there's a deadly poison in here?
No, there's no longer any poison in that bottle. However, I'm certain if the crime lab were to analyze it, they would find a trace amount.
No! Smack, smack, smack!
Oh my god, these hiccups are gonna kill me. I apologize to everyone listening in the future.
Order! Order in the court!
God damn it. On behalf of Dolly, I object!
Mr. Wright? Mr. Wright, control yourself!
I won't let you bully her like this!
Mr. Wright, I thought I told you to stay in your seat.
Mr. Wright, why? Why are you going through so much trouble to protect her? Why? Because I'm madly in love with her!
Madly in love? I haven't heard anyone say that in a long time.
Mr. Wright, have you ever thought about this? Why exactly would a woman like Dahlia Hawthorne want to date you anyway? Well, I guess she must be madly in love with me too. Mr. Wright, please, open your eyes. At this point in the trial, I think it should be obvious to everyone. The real reason that Dahlia Hawthorne is dating you is because of that necklace. Dahlia Hawthorne was not and is not madly in love with you. The only thing that she's after is that bottle necklace that you love to wear on your neck. My necklace? Back there in the waiting room, you said it yourself. Yeah, but she's so shy. Every time I see her, she always says the same thing to me. Please give it back now.
Oh, what a strange girl asking for a present back like that.
For Dahlia Hawthorne, that necklace is irrefutable evidence of her crime. That's why she absolutely had to get it back. You're lying! But you never gave it back to her. And to make things worse for her, you insisted on showing it to everyone you met. Oh my god. That's why she... I don't believe you. No! No, it's alive! The defendant, he's getting away. Bailiff, hurry, after him.
Mia, are you alright?
Yes, I think so.
That boy, he went completely insane.
Where's Mr. Wright?
Looks like the bailiff caught him, so he should be back soon enough.
Thank goodness. Oh no!
What is it?
The bottle necklace. Miss Hawthorne's present. It's gone.
What? That's terrible!
Mr. Wright must have grabbed it when he slammed into me.
Foolish boy. That's the only thing that could have saved him. What in blazes are we supposed to do now? Mr. Wright, this sort of behavior is unprecedented in the history of this court.
I'm sorry.
I'm afraid your apology is not enough.
Mr. Wright, what did you do with the bottle necklace? Forgive me. I'm sorry. It's okay. Just give back the necklace. I ate it. You what?
You ate it?
It was too big to swallow, so I had to chew it into little bits first, but yeah. God damn it, Phoenix. What is she doing now? Your Honor, you gotta stop the trial. Mr. Wright, Mr. Wright, are you feeling okay? Does your stomach hurt? That bottle you swallowed may have had some poison left in it.
It seems that the defendant has proven the prosecution's case for us.
Clearly that bottle did not contain the deadly poison. What? How can you be so sure?
I think that's obvious. As you can see, the defendant is still very much alive. As for the poison, more like a fledgling defense attorney's overactive imagination.
Well, so it would seem. No, there must be some mistake. The bottle must not have had any poison left in it. Either that or the poison must have lost its potency.
There. It's all right, rookie. Trusting your client is the most noble thing a defense attorney can do. And it's heartwarming to see that you place this much faith in Mr. Wright. But that's how it is for us on the prosecution side, too. For example, I would trust a witness, Miss Hawthorne, with my very life. Which is why I can state that your assessment of her is completely wrong. Schmark. That's enough. Unfortunately, Miss Faye, I cannot accept your explanation of events.
But why?
Well, this may be impossible for a beginner like you to understand, but in a court of law, evidence is everything.
Even after I prove so much? Is she gonna get away with everything?
Schmark.
Well, now that this is... Oh my god, these hiccups are killing me.
Now that the suspicion surrounding Miss Hawthorne has been cleared up, I would like to proceed with it.
Mr. Wright? I'm sorry, Miss Faye. It totally slipped my mind. I'm really, really sorry. I know you believed in me, and I feel like I really let you down. Mr. Wright, what are you trying to say? There's something I forgot to tell you.
What is it?
That day, the day I met Doug Swallow. That girl, you shouldn't see her anymore. Hey, it's none of your business. I'm telling you for your sake, if you continue to see her, it's gonna be bad news. You're lying! Just listen to me. There's something that you need to know about that girl. Last night, someone stole some poison from our lab. Poison? The same thing happened 8 months ago. A drug sample was stolen. She came to the lab that time too. It could only have been her. That girl's a thief. Stop it! Don't talk about her like that! Is it true? Did he really say that?
That's ridiculous!
There's one more thing. After I pushed him that day, I got worried and came back to have a look. And she was there. Dolly was right there. She was crouched down next to him. What? She told me not to ever tell anyone about it, but I'm sorry, Dolly.
Your Honor, this is the defendant is...
Miss Faye, you tell them. Dolly didn't do it. She's innocent. So Dahlia stole poison 8 months ago too, huh? If you put that together with Mr. Wright's testimony, then there's only one possible conclusion. The defense believes that Miss Dahlia Hawthorne stole some poison on the night before she killed Doug Swallow.
The night before?
Naturally, her motive for stealing it was to kill someone. Miss Faye?
If you're so certain of your theory, then let me ask you this. Oh, schmack, by the way.
Mia, this is your last chance. Oh my god. Think carefully now. There's something that she desperately wanted to get back. Therefore...
Exactly who was Miss Dahlia planning on killing her?
I know, they show that cutscene a whole bunch. Who was she planning to kill? Well, you know, well... There was one person that was standing squarely in Miss Dahlia Hawthorne's way, and that person was Mr. Phoenix Wright.
Me? That's preposterous! After all, it was Doug Swallow that was murdered.
Well, it's true that that's how things worked out. But let's remember that Mr. Swallow died of electrocution, not poison. Oh my god, the person that Ms. Hawthorne was planning to poison was in fact you, Mr. Phoenix, Wright? There's no one else that it could be.
But how could that be? I thought Mr. Wright and Miss Hawthorne were in love.
Poor Mr. Wright, this must be killing him. Hang in there. I'll bring her to justice, I swear it. As I said before, the only thing that Miss Hawthorne truly cared about was the one piece of evidence linking her to that incident 8 months ago. That's right. The bottle necklace. That's all she cared about.
But even so, why? Why would she go as far as to murder him?
8 months ago, just after the fall of that attorney in the basement cafeteria, Dahlia Hawthorne could think of only one thing: how to get rid of the bottle necklace as quickly as possible. No, it can't be. It was a pretty good move that she made too. The evidence was missing for a long time. But there was just one big problem. Although she got him to hide the evidence, Mr. Wright refused to return it to her. To him, the tiny little bottle was a cherished treasure. He even showed it to everyone he met.
You mean that's why she tried to kill Mr. Wright?
Correct, Your Honor. It was to retrieve that piece of evidence.
That can't be true!
Feeny, what a joke you are. Honestly, how can any woman ever count on you for anything? I even told you time and time again to keep your trap shut about me and that necklace. You disgust me.
Miss Hawthorne!
It appears that we're nearing the end of this trial. Fine, I can tell you plan on making me into a criminal no matter what I say. You are a criminal, Miss Hawthorne. We'll see about that. But first, where's your evidence? It seems that your sniveling little crybaby of a client has eaten the bottle as a snack. Hey, old man, are you senile or something? Why don't you say something instead of sitting there with that dumb look in your face?
Miss Hawthorne, what's happened to you?
Are you really that shocked? Or do you prefer me this way, Mr. Judge? With absolutely no proof, you treat a voluntary witness like she's a mass murderer. Well, I have nothing more to say. I'll be heading home now if you don't mind.
But we're not finished.
Fine, then ask this nasty old hag to finish up already. I can't let her get away this time.
Stop, Mia. If you keep on pushing without any evidence, you could pay the ultimate price as a lawyer.
The ultimate price?
You'd be forced to take off your attorney's badge forever, I'm afraid.
No. You'd better think it over carefully, Miss Fay. Or shall I say, Miss Gray?
Smack! Well, Miss Fay, can you provide evidence that would establish her guilt once and for all?
If I mess up here, my career as a lawyer is over. But it has to be honest. To be honest, at this point, I don't have any evidence that's well-founded. Even so, I'd rather lose my attorney's badge than to let her get away with murder. Your Honor, the defense would like to present proof.
Impossible! You can't possibly!
Stupid woman.
Smack! Well, it is of the opinion of this court that there's been enough discussion, but therefore, I will allow only one piece of evidence to be presented.
Just one?
If you are unable to establish her guilt, then I'm afraid that a very harsh verdict will be immediately handed down on to Mr. Phoenix Wright.
I understand, Your Honor. I can just imagine the headlines for tomorrow's newspaper. Up-and-coming lawyer plummets to earth before she gets a chance to soar. She was planning to poison Mr. Wright. If that's the case, then the poison was probably in there.
Well then, Miss Fay, Please present your evidence.
Uh-oh.
Show to this court the irrefutable proof that Miss Hawthorne was planning to poison Mr. Wright.
Uh-oh.
Here it is, Your Honor. The evidence that will prove her guilt once and for all.
Cold Killer X? Phoenix Wright's beloved cold medicine. Does our rookie defense attorney have a bit of a cold?
If I did, I still wouldn't take this cold medicine. After all, it's been poisoned.
What?
Remember what the defendant said in his testimony? But I lost my bottle of it around lunchtime on the day of the accident. I always eat with Dolly, just the two of us. She was the one who took his bottle of Cold Killer X. Then she poisoned it, knowing that Mr. Wright was going to take some.
Now you're really grasping at straws. After all, it was the victim, Duck Swallow, that was holding the medicine.
I would like the court to recall the crime that happened here 8 months ago. Where did Miss Hawthorne hide the evidence?
Huh? What are you talking about?
8 months ago, the poison was hidden in her bottle necklace, which she then gave to someone else for safekeeping. Someone that she had accidentally run into in the reading room, my client, Mr. Phoenix Wright. Yes, that's right. She did the same thing this time as well. After shoving the victim, Mr. Phoenix Wright left the scene of the crime. That is when the murderer, Dahlia Hawthorne, appeared. With her, she was carrying the bottle of the poison Cold Killer X. This, of course, was so that she could carry out her plan to murder Mr. Wright.
Oh, I believe she did testify that she was going to meet with the defendant.
Yes, and she heard and saw everything that happened at the scene of the crime, including what the defendant and victim were arguing about, and the electrical cable. The cut electrical cable. She used the severed electrical cable to silence him forever. Unfortunately for her, this is when the problem occurred. Mr. Wright, who she thought had left the scene, came back to check on the victim. And on top of that, because of the power outage, some students showed up as well. It's hardly any wonder that she was, as she put it, in a state of panic. Recall that she was carrying that bottle of poison cold medicine. She must have thought, what if they searched me like they did 8 months ago?
8 months ago?
Yes, she disposed of the evidence exactly the same way as she did back then. She had someone else hold it, in this case, Doug Swallow. Oh, come on now, everyone. Surely you aren't fooled, are you? This stupid woman, she's nothing but a filthy, stinking liar. Right, Mr. Prosecutor?
Huh? Yes, that's exactly right. It's just pure desperation.
I wonder which of us is the desperate one. So, Miss Hawthorne, this cold medicine, I wonder if you wouldn't mind taking some. Well, Mr. Wright ate that necklace of yours, right? Now it's your turn to prove your innocence. What do you say? If I'm just a filthy, stinking liar, then there's no need to worry. So come on, show us. I dare you to take some of this medicine right now. Mia Fey! Mia Fey! Do you think you've won? Well, do you, Mia Fey? That's just fine. For the time being. Victory is yours. For the time being. Well, I have a very long memory, you know. You and I will meet again. I'm certain of it. Well then, Mr. Judge. I'll see you later too, okay?
Huh? Where? What? Yes.
I'm gonna go spend a little quality time with the men in blue now. I wish you all the best. Whew. It's finally over.
I refuse to accept this. The defense hasn't shown a scrap of evidence to support their outrageous claim. But even so, your witness seems to have accepted it. I don't care! I'm Winston Payne! And I don't believe one word that this rookie lawyer has said!
Well then, Mr. Payne, let me ask you this.
Yes?
Would you care to try this cold medicine?
What?
Just a little earlier, I could have sworn you said...
There. It's alright, rookie. For example, I would trust the witness, Miss Hawthorne, with my very life.
So, if she's so trustworthy, then I'm sure there couldn't possibly be any poison in there, right?
Well, you see,
And here comes the backpedal. Come on now, rookie killer. Show this rookie how it's done. How much trust do you really have for this woman? Are you willing to bet your life?
Ah, my hair! It's flying off! My beautiful hair! Oh no!
And that's the death of his beautiful hair.
Mr. Payne, about Miss Dahlia Hawthorne? Yes, Your Honor. I'll file papers for her immediate arrest. Tragic, but not surprising. I knew there was something suspicious about her from the very beginning.
Don't lie, just admit you were wrong.
By the way, Miss Faye,
Yes, Your Honor.
was it just me, or did you and Miss Dahlia Hawthorne seem to know each other?
Your Honor, whether we did or not has no bearing on this case.
Very well. Mr. Payne, this can't be happening. It's a nightmare. It's like losing to my daughter. It appears that Mr. Payne has lost his spirit along with his hair. Does the defendant have anything further to say?
It can't be true, my dear. Oh, it you.
Smack. Well, very well then. I believe I am ready to pass judgment and bring this trial to an end. The court finds the defendant, Mr. Phoenix Wright, not guilty.
Hooray!
Smack. This court is adjourned.
Well, I already said it. The Phoenix and the Emma thing. Yes. I said that she would call them a kissing flytrap. Demon of Brightness achievement unlock. Get Dolly to freak out. Insert Mia and Phoenix reaction to get this achievement. Mia be like, I knew this was gonna happen. Ha! Got him! And Phoenix will be like, no! It made Dolly do!
Mia, you were wonderful in there.
Thank you for everything, Mr. Grossberg.
During the verdict, I thought my hemorrhoids were going to explode like Mount Vesuvius.
God damn it, that's gross. Mr. Grossberg, do you, maybe think that you could stop talking about them?
Well, that's rather rude. Anyway, this case really made me think. What does it really mean to have a relationship of mutual trust with the client? Perhaps it is we veteran lawyers who have lost sight of this.
Oh, Mr. Wright, congratulations. Thanks. You know, the Dolly I know would never have said those kind of terrible things. Maybe she was like, I don't know, fake or something. Boy, this poor kid still hasn't gotten a clue. You need to forget about her, Mr. Wright, for your own sake. Yeah, you're right. That's probably for the best. Also, you need to relax a bit more. Try to grow up a little. But out of all my friends, everyone says I'm the most grown up. Eek, what kind of company does this guy keep? We know. Right now, I'm studying to become a lawyer myself. That's what you keep saying. But I thought you were in the art department. Well, yeah, I am. But there's a friend that I desperately want to help. And if I hurry, then I should still be able to save him in time. I see. Say, Miss Faye, a lawyer is someone who can help people when they're in trouble, right? Mr. Wright, I'm still new at this myself. But I think that's exactly what a lawyer is. Okay, I'm gonna do it. I'll study my butt off. I'll become a lawyer for sure. I hope we see each other again someday. Maybe even in court.
It's been 5 years since I was acquitted of all charges. I became a lawyer like I planned, and managed to save my friend. But Mia has passed on to a better place. For me, this trial brings up a lot of painful memories. But it also brings up some very precious ones. And memories that I thought would never rise to the surface again. Mia's gone now, but even so, I can hear her in my mind. Phoenix, no matter what, always believe in your client. In a court of law, your greatest weapon is your belief. 5 long years. Something has happened that's made me think back to her words of wisdom. But that is a story for another day. That's after what you said. Because Emma has creative names is what I meant. Wait, what do you mean? Then Phoenix asks Emma what Emma is doing. And oh, I didn't see that. And Emma tells Phoenix that what she's doing. She's like, I'm studying this piranha plant and coming up with some cool names for it. And Phoenix like, I don't know if it's you see, it's married to Maya, so yeah, we need to talk, Emma. Oh man, yay! The next case is awesome, but unfortunately, I am gonna stop the stream here because I'm super hungry. I'm gonna eat. I might start another stream after this, depending. I'll see. There's another game, a new game that I might start playing after I eat. But I'll definitely be doing some more Phoenix right now. They're in the third game. I'm so excited. It's gonna be good. But yeah, so for now, I need to feed my face, and then I may or may not be back after. So if I will be back, I'll be back in about 30 minutes or so. So, all right. Well, thank you guys for hanging out with me and Phoenixing, and I'll see you guys later. See ya, Piranha and Maya.